The point that I was making was the fear. Way too much fear. Way too much, way too much fear. Oh, you can't, what if you do that? Oh, and then they might, and there'll be, and there's a, that's what concerned me. I heard way too much fear. And if you have that kind of fear from the beginning going on, how are you going to inspire these young people to do what they're doing when they're suing the federal government about being able to take a picture at a federal court building? You know, so these young people are not going to respect that attitude. They don't understand it. They don't share it. They're not going to be part of it. Why didn't the Revolution come over in Denver in 08? Why? Because they didn't perceive the Libertarian Party being as libertarian as they have been. I know. I've been like this with them for years. Wayne and I have a good rapport. We get along fine and everything, but we see this totally differently. And hopefully I'll get a minute in rebuttal. We'll do questions at the end. You want to do questions? Yeah. I think Wayne should get to go, and then we'll both do questions.
I'll say. All right. First thing I want to mention, even though we don't believe in theft, Ernie has conveniently left his drink here, which
Oh, there it is.
About whether or not Now, my respect for private property overwhelms my desire to drink this particular drink, but so I will. We've been very blessed. We have not one but two candidates for national chair who have come to our little tiny meeting here in the Manhattan LP. I think between them they've probably traveled about 5,000 miles. I just drove 500 miles to make tonight's meeting, but they've certainly surpassed me. Unfortunately, Wayne's daughter has made the wrong choice. There's a very, very fine institution up around 116th Street where I went to school from 74 to 78.
And where I went to school.
And where Wayne went to school. And I had some famous co-classmates, but he had his classmate that was unbelievably famous. I mean, talk about like a major dickhead. This guy is like currently president of the United States. So, I mean, you cannot get worse than any of Wayne Root's classmates. But we've been, or at least that one. We've been really, really fortunate. First of all, just my own perspective, I want to thank Ernie for coming. I personally, although I'm currently state chair and I'm obviously going to St. Louis, but I have always felt that 95% of the activism is at the local level. And whether it is playing poker in front of the police plaza when they won't let us do that, or whether it's we don't need no stinking licenses and we're out in Central Park protesting the war, and we're on, BBC News and everything else, the Libertarian Party, Manhattan Libertarian Party on BBC News, because, the liberals all walk where they're told to walk and do what they're told to do, or whether it is any of the other kind of activism, and probably the best activism that this particular chapter has done over the last half-decade is Serf City. No matter what it is, the grassroots fight is at the local level. So I very much appreciate that Ernie has come and told us that. Now, we've also got another candidate who's running for national chair, who is from New York, who has asked an opportunity to speak, and who is with us in that fight as well against the statists and the tyrants. Wayne Root.
It's funny, the one thing I think you got from me and Ernie, well, from Ernie so far, but you get it from me too, is we like each other. We do have very different views on how to sell libertarianism, but he's a great guy, and he's a great activist for the party, and if I win in St. Louis, I want you involved. It's as simple as that. I want you involved. And I think there's room at the plate for everyone. Just to give you a definition of one sentence of who I am, here it is. Simple, guys. I am a big tent libertarian. I want to bring in everyone. We cannot be a purist party. It's been 39 years of disaster, failure, and underperformance. I don't walk up here and say, I am anti-war. No, because that'll scare half the public. I don't say I'm for legalizing heroin. No, that'll scare half the public. I don't scream I'm for gay marriage, but that doesn't mean I'm not with you on every single issue. What's important is to open the tent and bring people in. Let me give you an example of what's important. I got an email yesterday. I did this in Kansas too when I was with Ernie. I read an email that came in because it was a great email that summed up what I'm about and why I think I can run this party. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a conservative. I'm a CEO. That's what this party needs. A chief spokesman, a chief rainmaker, someone to bring in money. Now, by the way, I'll bet you my 4 opponents combined haven't brought in any money, because there is no money when you're running intra-party. It's hard enough to raise money, as you're going to find out as a libertarian when you run for major office. Nobody writes checks. Well, last week I raised $18,000 for my run for national chairman. $18,000 in 72 hours by finally getting my PayPal account up on my thing and sending it out to my list of people. And those are the terrible people that some people in this party, purists, are scared of. You know what you call the people who donated to me? Tea Party activists, disgruntled Republicans, disgruntled conservatives, independents, gun owners. They're us. But we've chased them away for 39 years because they weren't pure enough. The purity police chased them away with vicious comments. Do you have any idea how much I've sacrificed for this party? And do you know what you see online? You see the Wayne Root supporters saying great things about me. You see the ones who don't like me saying the most vicious, vile, disgusting things I've ever heard in my life. Is that the Libertarian Party? Do you badmouth people? Do you curse people on Facebook? My God, no wonder people run away from us. Here's an email from someone, Guy Smith, who was on the California Executive Committee of the Libertarian Party, that kind of sums up what I'm about. Being a marketing strategist by trade, I tend to view most problems as marketing problems. The Libertarian Party's success is no different. It is from this viewpoint that I am now backing Wayne Allyn Root. The LP's primary mission is to get candidates elected to office. It is in a perpetual failure mode. At this current moment of history, when the LP should be drawing in every Tea Party member and registered independent, we are not, and the reasons have been measured. I led a positioning survey to see where the LP stands in my region, the San Francisco Bay Area. The single largest problem the LP has is a lack of brand awareness, recognition among voters. No other progress can be made until this is corrected and the media Republican-Democrat duality is finally killed. Wayne is the only candidate who can make this happen. He has the drive, the media skills, the money management, and the youth appeal to start the process. The other candidates are all fine people, but they can't bring brand awareness to the Libertarian Party. Since there can be no brand preference without brand awareness, we need Wayne to take us to that next level. That's Guy Smith, Executive Committee of the California LP. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell this story wherever I go, and people are starting to mention it all over the country. When they ask, what's wrong with the Libertarian Party? Why don't we win? I say, well, here's the answer. At every state convention, I say the same thing. Look around you. I go to tea parties and I address 20,000 people. I go to libertarian events. I fly 3,000 miles, and there's 20 people in the room. Do you get the opinion we might be doing something wrong? Do you get the opinion we don't understand sales, marketing, branding, promotion? Do you get the opinion that we need the energy jolt and the passion that a good CEO can bring to this party? And I bring it all home with one simple story that people are talking about all over the country. Grouper. It's the fish no one ever bought on the menu of restaurants all across America. The biggest failure of any fish ever on the menu. Until the Seafood Association got together with the United States Restaurant Association and said, let's change the name of grouper and let's call it Chilean sea bass. And it became the most successful seafood item in the history of the restaurant business. So successful that the oceans have been mined and fished clear of grouper. There's none left. They're taking it off menus all across America because grouper is gone. All because they changed the name to a sexy name called Chilean sea bass. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't scream about being pro-drug or anti-war, because I scream about things that women, mothers and grandmothers, that veterans, that Christians can say, wow, we've actually got something in common with the Libertarian Party, and I like this guy, Wayne Root.